or the Clintons knew that her reign, she would never make president if he was alive and was also going to move up that chain of command and become president. So I think I think the cabal thought it was their turn. I think they realized that Trump actually is a lot like JFK, his plans, and I just think that they probably thought Junior was going to ruin their plans. I mean, that's just my opinion, but God, it makes sense.
Welcome to the Patriot Hour, by the way. All right, I'm just hit record. We're going to be getting a little bit of this for another Patriot Hour episode that I can release later tonight. So, again, we got Scott with us, Jaws, a former veteran, friend of ours, just a good all-around guy. We're glad to have him with us today. We got 130 in the live stream watching. Those of you on the Patriot Hour watching this channel, this is not live for you. This is going to be a couple hours later that you'll be seeing this. But
if the military pulled this off, that would be awesome. Well, here's what we do know. It's got to be, like you've always been saying, it has to come from the top down. We just can't take our country back. We'd all be shot and thrown in jail, you know.
This has been going on in our country alone since shortly after it came together in 1776, if not well before. But the overall evil, I believe, is since antiquity. So this has been going on forever. This is just a chance for us good guys to hit back a little bit. And
yeah, they wouldn't have been cremated. Nobody, Catholics don't cremate. I'm not Catholic. My wife's diehard Catholic, so I can tell you that it's in their faith. So whoever's asking about cremations, they wouldn't have cremated him because he's Catholic.
So now, like I said, we were floating off the coast of Norfolk. I was stationed out of Norfolk, and I don't know if we were out and about for like a 2-week little underway thing that we would go down by Cuba, float back up, come up the coast, end up by New York. But we ended up doing at least a 12 or 24-hour search for the plane because I was active duty at that time on board the USS George Washington, and I can pull the ship's records for that day, and it would talk about that our ship, and we never found nothing. I think it was days or weeks later or months later that they actually found the wreckage of that plane.
Right.
It's, I don't know that last.
And I believe the story. You know, what's this now? What's this?
That last video of all the
Whoa, that's I still don't. I don't watch videos like that. And they're like, I'm 100% sold. Right. I just find it very interesting. You could watch it. Watch that again. It's only 6 minutes. It's part 5. This guy did. So there's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This is just the newest evidence. There is a whole slew of people just dedicated to this, the JFK theory. I don't rule it out as a horrible. To me, it's an eddy. We talk about eddies.
Correct. Right.
What is an eddy, folks?
Don't get caught in the eddy. Stay the path.
Stay the course. Yeah. The course. Just be swirling around trying to.
What's keeping them from whacking Trump, Dennis Saller? Well,
highly protected by. He keeps himself surrounded by military, and he's got the Secret Service.
It would have to be a mole that somebody implanted, and if they were gonna kill him, he'd be dead by now because this movement has got too much traction now. It kind of like if there was actual meat of this story of collusion, they would have already thrown it out there.
They would have had it. Everything else is leaked.
Right. They could not be waiting for anything. They would have thrown it at us right away and got him out. They want him out as fast as they can. So think about that. If there was any relevance to any of this crap, he wouldn't be president right now.
We're not going to find out about it by some Mueller investigation that turns up something. This would have already leaked. It would be huge news. They wouldn't have waited. They wanted him out the minute they find something to get him out on. So they're not going to wait for due process and court trials.
There's a funny one. Hillary doesn't scare me. The people that vote for her scare me. Well, I can agree with that.
Agree.
That's a fair statement.
That's a fabulous statement.
So what do we think on what's going to, these investigations that are coming out with Mueller? We just learned that Michael Flynn has helped in other investigations, and everyone just thought he was doing a Russia-Trump collusion thing. What are these other two? I can theorize that one's probably going to be on Russia collusion, but I think there's a lot more to it. I think some of these people they investigated, it led back to the Democratic Party, the DNC. What about Hillary's collusion with the DNC and the dossier? That's the true crime, isn't it?
Well,
paid for.
Unfortunately, he hasn't been treated well by the media, and the DNC has, even though they got caught and even admitted that she rigged the system against
Bernie. They screwed their own person over.
They've screwed their own people. He's not getting love from the media. So until the media actually sees proof or it leaks out and they can't deny it anymore, then maybe there's a chance in hell they'll say, well, the cat's out the bag. We've been wrong this whole time. You have to throw it completely in their face to make it a real story.
And then they say, well, we had no clue or no idea. Well, you guys didn't have any clue of the other thing that you pitched.
Right.
But you pitched it.
Right. That's what's going to happen. It's going to blow up in their face, and they're all going to have to come back in front of the screen. Here's another thing I ask liberals all the time. How the hell can you be a liberal? You sat there and through the last election, the most powerful moment in my life, probably, that didn't have anything to do with kids or my wife, but we were all told, she's going to destroy Trump, gonna win, and I listened to all you tell me she's gonna win, and I started getting nervous that she was gonna win. I started believing, fuck, Trump's not gonna win, sorry. But then he did, and then they all ate crow, but didn't admit it. Well, they started making excuses. Well, the people are stupid then. Yeah. They couldn't sit back in front of the camera and say, we were wrong. We tried to dupe you. We were trying to set a narrative so maybe you would vote for the winner.
Yeah. That's
how can
amazing.
you still be a liberal after all the lies? Now you're telling me, the same news media is telling me, he needs impeached.
Well, like in the conservatives or the Republican Party, there are vast differences of what people will pitch. Like you'll have one guy and he'll come up and say something, then you'll actually have the other guy running that actually doesn't agree so much with that. We see the slight differences. And the Democratic Party seems to all stick together with, if somebody does something really crazy, they're all still like, well, they just kind of ignore it together. And it's like it's a platform that I just don't understand. I don't understand how they operate.
He says, I had to change optometrist. A doctor. He had to change doctor. Would you just say doctor next time? Don't choke me up, Lisa.
Optometrist?
Yeah, because he was a Hillary lover.
Jeez.
Oh, man. They are still peeved off at Trump.
Oh, last night I was, this side note, I was going, had the TV on, and it was breaking news at 11 o'clock, 11:30. CNN's headquarters in New York got bomb threatened. And they were all out of the offices. They went down, I was just happy. I watch the opposition news because when you look at intel, you can't just look at what you think to be right. You have to look at all of it. And then out of looking at all of it, you have to come to a determination of what's real and what's not. So you have to watch the bullcrap, folks. Otherwise, how do you know what's real? But anyway, they were all evacuated out. Don Lemon, and then they all had cell phones. They came up with the idea, so now the one dude's holding a cell phone to the other dude, and it's real grainy looking, and they're reporting on their own building being bomb threatened. And I'm like, this has got to be fake news, It's like,
believe me, I was there.
Somebody called it in from them, I'm going to call bomb threat in, and we'll have a great show. We'll go out there and we'll beam in. And,
like Bruce Almighty, he already knew the story.
Creating the story, creating the narrative, setting the narrative, showing you a solution.
And there I was when the flood waters reached the second floor.
So, folks, it was it's a sad situation that they created for themselves over there at that network. But, hey, they did it.
And then they have to eat crow, and for some reason they still think they're credible.
Yeah.
And what blows my mind is I got a couple of people that are, dating family members of mine, and I love them to death, but when we get into politics, I literally have to look them in the face. And I normally don't do this, but they're diehard that direction, right? And I'm not diehard conservative. I'm diehard constitutionalist. But I have to look them in the face and say, you literally watch that channel even after they lied to you and then lied to you and then lied to you, and you're going to sit here and tell me, well, CNN said so.
Yeah.
But that's not credible anymore. You have zero credibility. It's like Peter Jennings. Was it Peter Jennings? He actually resigned.
We're getting more ratings than CNN does at some of our shows.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
But wasn't he the one that was saying, there I was,
the
flood lot?
Brian Williams.
Brian Williams.
Yeah.
What a lying son of a.
Hillary.
Are these people ever going to learn?
I was on the tarmac and under heavy sniper fire, folks, but I stopped long enough to do a podium brief piece and handshake.
And then Bill defends her. Well, if you were campaigning for the president, you would be run ragged and tired, and you'd make some mistakes too. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's coming from the expert mistake maker. Yeah. It depends on what the definition of it is.
Yeah, he's one to know about mistakes. I watched a really good thing. It was on, I don't know, the History Channel the other night. It was like 3 episodes long, hour long a piece about the whole Clinton, Monica Lewinsky, the whole build up to the cover up. Man, that was dirty. They had no business in politics after that. I was watching that. I was like, wow.
Miss Kova, 41, Comey still not answering, pleading the fifth. So apparently she's following the testimony.
So what, we're getting that he just pleaded the fifth for the whole thing? He showed up and pleaded the fifth?
This is the second time I've seen her post. She says Comey still not answering.
I'm glad she said that because for 4 times I've picked up my phone to look into that. I kept thinking, then I ended up in YouTube looking at everything else, but I was going to look up the Comey, see if we have any result. Because his big thing was he wanted to have it public. And they wanted him in a session that they can ask him better stuff outside of the public view. Mm-hmm. And he agreed, because I think for him to fight for the public thing, and then they finally gave in and said, all right, you can release the transcripts the next day. And then he's like, oh, they called my bluff. So now he goes in and pleads the fifth. I want a public, because he tweeted, the closest thing I can get to a public hearing is to get the transcripts to be released, people. I'm all about transparency. That was what his tweet said. But then he goes in and pleads the fifth after they agree to it, but because he knew that they wouldn't do it. It's like calling on your bluff. Like, I'll come over if you give me $100. All right, I'll pay you. Now I got to go over there and do the work.
Man. I think he has some. At what point did that idiot go home and put his head on the pillow, Comey, and go, what did I get myself into? I mean, at what point did he realize he was in so deep? He doesn't even know which way to turn anymore. If he turns one way, his family's probably in danger. If he goes the other way, he's risking going to jail. He was a schmuck. He was, maybe he had bigger dreams of.
Lawyers are saying, lawyers stopping Comey from answering questions in the Hill testimony.
Dan Rather.
So yeah, I don't think you answered anything.
Destroyer of the First Order. Dan Rather not was I don't understand the typo there.
The whole reason Comey's not trying to answer anything is he wants to wait till the new year to get the seats to flip, because there were, the Dems are going to have the.
Choney says might be a suicide hotmail call away. Hotline, I got a headache. Yeah, no, I got a headache. Tylenol, my friend, Tylenol. Wow. I could go, one of these days we're going to have to do it, warn everybody, hey, we're going to do a JFK.
Matt Lauer. What about Matt Lauer? Yeah, he fell off the map a year ago for the sex scandal.
Holy cow.
So now check this out. I was watching something on that. Something to do, totally different research, folks. But I look into other things. But yeah, I was wondering about him. Like, wow, he went down hard. He was pretty prominent. And then that was the cover up. They said over at Comcast, who owns all that now, NBC, Comcast, that Matt Lauer was just a very mid-level journalist on the TV, and it went up high levels above him and they just blasted him, did it, and screwed him over. But it went much levels higher. There's tons of people within the network that said they've been harassed by people way above him, and it goes all the way to the top. But the network owners kiboshed it with him, like made a pretty big story out of him.
Huh.
He still lives at home in his pretty big house with his wife. That they're like going through divorce, but they still all live in the same home, and the kids are still there. And he's just home every day now, because overnight he was done. You remember Matt Lauer, right?
Oh yeah, a little cheating squirrel.
Yeah. He's done, but there's much more to the story, I guess.
Michael Callahan, I like your comment. Comey, public execution, a very evil capital man. If we weren't so soft and we actually started hanging some people back in court, in the town square, in the front of the court, on the court.
They're saying John Brennan too. John Brennan another nasty one that came out. If we go to believe this story, we take it to like, is God's hand on Trump? You would think to take down some of this evil you'd have, if the devil could work through people,
Right.
can God. And not to take it too much there, folks, but I definitely believe. And
Ham, I agree. Comey is done. We knew that. He's definitely screwed. He's like put himself in a bad position.
they've all made, and that's the other angle of this, is they want the testimony to come out before the release.
Yeah.
They want, and that way they can't lie, folks. That's what Q broke down to us. What's the difference of doing it this way versus that way?
You, real quick, I'm gonna see if I can say this fast. I just heard this joke this morning. It's actually pretty hilarious. So a guy's he's dying, and he's a politician, but he ends up dying, and he goes to heaven, or supposedly he goes up to heaven, gets an interview with God. Hey, God says, take a look around. Oh man, this is exactly what I thought it'd be. People golfing, blah blah blah. But you can't swear up there. There's no drinking or whatever. It's just good clean living. And he says, well, now you got to see the other side. God says, we're going to go down the elevator. So they go down the elevator, and the elevator door opens, and there's just fabulous-looking women bringing you up glasses and bottles of Dom Perignon. And he's like, holy smokes, this place isn't anything like I was told it was. So God says, well, what are you going to do? And he says, Lord, I'm going to hell. So he says, okay. The next morning, God said, you made your decision. Go ahead. So he rides that elevator back downstairs. Door opens up and hellfire brimstone. This dead politician looks up at God and says, God, what the hell? He says, yesterday it was gorgeous and I wanted to be here, but this isn't what it's supposed to be. And God says, oh, the devil was just campaigning.
Nice. See? That's good. That's real good.
This is why I like Trump. He's not a politician. He's refreshing. Scott, don't you get tired? He's kind of ignorant. He tweets too much. You know what? Maybe, but it's refreshing because he's not a lawyer. I don't hear a bunch of lawyerisms, and he's actually doing what he campaigned on.
And well, how about people that before Trump was ever in the mix, people are like, what, we need Scott, and probably most people down at the Legion years ago, it's like, we just need a non-political guy, to come in, and then we finally get one, but not him, not Trump. It don't matter who it would have been. It wouldn't have been, he doesn't know anything. All of a sudden now people are fighting for what we've already been under and had. That's what blows my mind. The same old crap that we've had going on.
David says,
they're begging
ja,
for.
Ja. Does that mean ha, ha, ha? I'm hoping that was major typo. Yeah,
I don't read all the comments. I just read the good ones.
I wonder how many people on the left and the right, so how many Americans are just sick to their stomach anymore of the overspending? If we all ran our home, this is the best way to ask. If we all ran our homes like these politicians are running our country, we'd all be without a home. We'd lose our mortgage, our home. Trump, he had to be the answer. He's a businessman. Hopefully he's going to run this country like a business, and hopefully he stands behind his word when he said this will be the last budget like this that I'm going to sign. He did say that. So this year's budget, coming year, I can't wait to see what they propose. He trolls so well. I'm sorry, Spanish, I believe. Okay, well that would make sense then. My bad. The Panama Canal is a busy ditch. What the hell?
Oh, that's neat.
Joni says, Danielle Berg, correctamundo. Okay, so now I know J-A is our version of ha-ha. Thanks. I only know enough Spanish to get me in and out of trouble, cerveza and trabajo, work. I can follow along. I can't speak it all that well. I think I could get myself out of trouble, though.
Or in a whole bunch.
Yeah. If you mispronounce one syllable, it could mean completely opposite. Like, what movie was that, Cheech and Chong? Hey, man, you can't say that, man. You're insulting them. Oh, those are good movies. Just think, Trump is orange hair man, and when the demo go to jail, they will be wearing orange jumpsuits. Okay.
Agreed.
Never seen the POTUS drunk. He doesn't drink.
Okay, so the Robert Barber, when was it ever okay to sell uranium to Russia? Well, that wasn't the guys. The guys was Fusion GPS, the company in the middle, or not Fusion. Was it Fusion? No, it was just that other company that was guised out of Canada, but it ended up being bought out by Russia. That was a guise that they had set up to get the uranium to Russia and here 2 years later, about right now, blame Russia. Well, it's been 8 years now.
Right.
To blame Russia to get us to go into a final war with them. Hey, they got uranium. They stole it from us. But it was actually given to them, sold to them.
Kitty Cat says they didn't want Trump to win. He knew everything. They were going to be ousted. Well, Mike brought it up to me. You're absolutely right. I agree with you. They didn't want him to win. They couldn't have win because Mike pointed out to me when she actually lost, Hillary, HRC, lost her mind and said, I wonder if you can find that one of these days and repost
We're all going to be hanging.
We're all going to hang if he wins. And she was just going on like she was so... What did she mean by that? Hang. No, the right word should have been, if he wins, that means we lose. We're all going to lose. But she used the word hang, and when she screamed it, you could tell there was something a little bit deeper than, we're just going to lose the election. She was being passionate for a reason. And then on the backstage of, I think it was the Matt Lauer show or something, she got pissed because she wasn't given the questions ahead of time, and she went nuts and said, well, you guys, beep, beep, support Trump. If you don't start asking the right questions, we're going to lose this. And she just went nuts. She got caught multiple times going absolutely crazy.
This is over that Matt Lauer interview is what it was. He went off the thing because she liked to get all the questions advanced.
To be prepared,
and he went ahead and submitted like normal, but then he went off that.
She got
on purpose.
Pissed.
Oh, yeah. And then backstage.
Can you play any of that?
Yeah, I got it right here. Queuing. Let me grab.
This is just a fun reminder. I know most of you probably remember it. I love watching all this stuff. I like the compilation of Trump cannot win president. The Simpsons one. He will not be the president. Right now.
Good morning. I'm still reporting on the Clintons. Remember the September 7th Commander-in-Chief Forum where Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton appeared separately but back-to-back for 30 minutes each? According to an email forwarded to us late last night and originated from a Comcast email address, the technical crew for NBC, which produced the event, is now speaking out about what took place moments after Clinton walked off the set, a massive profanity-laced tirade aimed at NBC's host, Matt Lauer. It turned out that Clinton had been fed all the questions for approval in advance of the forum. But then, after the approval process, Matt Lauer had a change of heart and decided he would start his questioning with an unapproved line concerning Clinton's use of an illegal private server for her sometimes classified work-related emails.
Let me ask you something ahead of time that I'll ask Mr. Trump in a half an hour. To the best of your ability tonight, can we talk about your qualities and your qualifications to be commander-in-chief and not use this as an opportunity to attack Mr. Trump, all right? And I'll ask him the exact same thing.
I think that's an exactly right way to proceed.
Okay.
This is a very important decision for our country, and each of us should be presenting our experience, our expertise, and our plans to protect and defend the United States and our allies around the world.
What is the most important characteristic that a commander-in-chief can possess?
Steadiness, an absolute rock steadiness, and mixed with strength to be able to make the hard decisions.
Do you know how you can
because
tell Hillary's
I've had the unique experience of watching and working with several presidents.
So judgment is a key.
Temperament and judgment, yes.
The word judgment has been used a lot around you, Secretary Clinton, over the last year and a half, and in particular concerning your use of your personal email and server to communicate while you were Secretary of State. You've said it's a mistake. You said you made not the best choice. You were communicating on highly sensitive topics. Why wasn't it more than a mistake? Why wasn't it disqualifying if you want to be commander-in-chief?
Well, Matt, first of all, as I have said repeatedly, it was a mistake to have a personal account. I would certainly not do it again.
That just pissed her
I
off.
make no excuses for it. It
Spoiling.
was something that should not have been done. But the real question is the handling of classified material, which is, I think, what the implication of your question was. And for all the viewers watching you tonight, I have a lot of experience dealing with classified material, starting when I was on the Senate Armed Services Committee, going into the 4 years as Secretary of State. Classified material has a header which says top secret, secret, confidential.
Now, she's one of the people that is authorized to put a header on something.
Right.
That's her job title, actually.
Or
If you
remove
see
it.
something, because if something comes from a foreign dignitary, like a president of another country, that is automatically deemed that. And you yourself, Hillary, has the authority to add that on there. She acts like she plays the guys that, wasn't on there. Because you're supposed to do it.
Does she get violent in this one? This is when she's just on air.
Well, this is what leads to that
I will repeat
topic.
this.
Let me see. I'm going to scan
this
for it. I don't
is
know.
very
Evidence to support it.
We could see she was beginning to boil.
Yeah, here we go.
According to an NBC associate producer of the forum, as soon as Clinton got off the set, she exploded. Hillary proceeded to pick up a full glass of water and throw it at the face of her assistant, and then the screaming started. She was in a full meltdown, and no one on her staff dared speak with her. She went kind of manic and did not have control over herself at that point. How these people work with this woman is amazing to me. She really didn't seem to care who heard any of it.
So judgment is a key.
temperament and judgment, yes.
You really had to see this to believe it. She came apart, literally unglued. She is the most foul-mouthed woman I've ever heard. And that voice at screech level, awful.
So judgment is a key.
Temperament and judgment, yes.
She screamed she'd get that effing Lauer fired for this.
She did.
Referring to Donald Trump, Clinton said, "If that effing bastard wins, we all hang from nooses. Lauer's finished, and if I lose, it's all on your heads for screwing this up." So crooked Hillary fears the gallows, eh? Interesting.
So judgment is a key.
Temperament and judgment, yes.
Her dozen or more aides were visibly disturbed and tried to calm her down when she started shaking uncontrollably as she screamed to get an executive at Comcast, the parent company of NBC Universal, on the phone. Then two rather large aides grabbed her and helped her walk to her car. Matt Lauer was massively criticized for the rest of the week on air by the Clinton campaign and the rest of the MSM as having conducted an unfair and partisan attack on Clinton.
No.
According to the email, calls were made to the New York
It
Times,
wasn't
the Washington
fair.
Post, Huffington Post,
wasn't
and
fair.
Twitter executives with orders to...
So that's what it was. I don't think that ever made it on the air because it was off the, it wasn't broadcast. Is the echo over there?
Yeah, that goes over.
All right, so that was interesting. What did you guys think of that?
I don't remember all of the backlash the Clintons the Clinton campaign gave Matt Lauer, but how ironic that they're complaining that was bad publicity and yet it wasn't fair. Come on.
Look at all these people talking. Yeah, I mean, attaboy, Matt. Yeah, he lost his career over that. That started with the bashing of the Clintons for that next week or so, and then just things in his life started going wrong, I think, shortly after.
Oh, man. That was like the one where they caught her, like, passing out. And
yeah.
And then they, like, shot
Threw
something.
her into the frickin' truck.
Yeah, but the other one, like, she froze in the middle of her speech or something at the podium.
Loaded her up like an old AC unit.
Yeah, that guy walked up next to her at the podium and kind of like stuck her with something.
Yeah.
And for like 10, 15
Little two-pan antropine.
yeah, for like 15 seconds, she just stood there, and then all of a sudden she came back to life. And I'm like, man, that woman needs some more baby flesh. You know,
Yeah,
she's
she's hurt.
hungry.
She needs... They're pedivores. What's worse than a pedophile is a pedivore.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
are sick, yes, and we're glad she didn't win. And
Oh yeah. The light is shining. We're lucky to have a guy like Trump. That's what I say. You may not like. Get over it. We're lucky that he won because it just was set up against him from day one.
look at how long we've been live.
A while, huh?
2.5 hours.
Jeez.
So 118 people in the room. We're peeking up there. Nice. We appreciate you guys being here this afternoon. We'll take some questions or questions here the last couple minutes. I think we'll shut her down. I know my son will be getting home here soon. Next few minutes.
I wonder if Matt Laura is dead.
No, he's alive and well.
Oh, is he?
He sits at home now. They said like hanging out with his kids and stuff. And he doesn't talk with anybody anymore. And his
This has
wife's
been a lot
leaving
of
him.
fun today. Josh, you need to not say so much.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Quite-
I'm sitting back thinking, I wonder if how much money Matt Lauer made off that deal to not even voice an opinion, just be on TV and speak nationally, and then literally in 24 hours, no one has ever heard from you. Like in 24 hours, you're just gone.
You're just kind of. I think that just devastated his world. He had these kids that were, like teenagers and
Yeah.
a wife, and he was just the one that was real, always out there. I'm doing my shows. I got to go to Iraq and cover this. And
Yeah, no says they're not showing France riots. I'm curious
Yeah.
what you're talking about. And then what's
total
the other
media
one?
blackout on the riots going on.
Joni, you guys are making my day at work so much easier. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's what we're here to do, is entertain you.
So here, real quick, let me look.
One of them three handsome faces.
I can show you.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at a picture on the wall over here.
CNN, the Atlantic. When was this?
Riots in France. See, I put the TV down for, gosh, it's been probably a solid 5 or 6 days in a row. Been doing a lot of socializing, in front of people. Sick, evil, riots are over. Gas rights. No buns. Sharon, wait. Love you guys. Love you too. Thank you. As for, I don't watch TV.
Twitter.
Crystal Cooper, you wouldn't be wrong for not watching TV anymore. All right, here we go.
Right here.
Danielle.
Check out the screen.
Over gas taxation for climate control hoax. Well, no kidding. That's why we got the hell out of the Paris Accord. Those idiots. Their borders are still open. They're still got all kinds of problems. They got pissed when, their country's being overran by immigrants, and then they got pissed when Trump left the Paris Accord. But here they are, being taxed to death on it. When are they going to learn? Take your own country back. And don't ask us for help either, because your damn president ran his mouth about our president.
They beat this.
Oh, for Christ's
This
sake.
one guy pretty bad.
Yeah, that's Rodney King-ish. Come on. That's a little excessive.
I see him bleeding in the face. Wham, wham, wham. That guy's
Good.
getting in. Let me get in. I want some.
Well, I don't know. Is he in, it's just breaking. Watch a group of... I don't even care for their president. He took some cheap shots at our president. I don't think that people remember. Their own youth, like our youth, don't realize. They still... I don't believe they've paid 1 red cent back on World War II yet. And what the French need to remember, they're a jerk of a president, if we didn't bring our American butts over there and leave a lot of our American boys over there, there wouldn't be a France today.
So this is one that, whoops, I'm on the wrong thing. This is one that Q, this is kind of cool. Look at a couple of these. This is somebody in a parking lot. MAGA Mom was just at the Wichita Costco and found this note on my windshield when I came out. I had these Patriot stickers on my old dirty van for months. So kind of nice to know at least one other Patriot out here with me. She had a Q sticker.
Cool.
He puts, I have never seen another Q Patriot in real life. God bless you, Patriot. Where are we going?
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
It's hilarious.
I used that Where we go one, we go all the time now, and you can tell which ones understand it, and then you can tell which ones hate it and call us all conspiracy monkeys, and your movement's quack, and you're crazy.
Meanwhile, in Berlin,
Yeah.
look at that.
What's the 17th letter of the alphabet? Grover. The letter Q. Good stuff.
So we had a couple of those are pretty cool. This Patriot inside right here. This is one last cool one. Check this out. Grab it. Copy.
Is that the guy that sang? Did you sing the national anthem?
Where did you see that at?
I don't know. The one you just clicked on. Big heavy set guy with the red shirt was about to sing or yell or something. Right there. That. What is that?
Every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, for at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me, and I proudly stand up next to you and defend her still today. For there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Cowboy in the front row. That's cool.
Yeah.
Patriot. I love those videos and those stories. There's so much crap going on anymore. It's nice to see when the Patriot actually stands up. But you're not going to see that on most of the TV channels at night.
No. That puts a lump in my throat, this guy said. So get to Chick-fil-A, folks, and maybe make your own video singing that.
Lump.
Send it into the Patriot Hour. We'll put you on blast.
Yeah.
The French,
I'll
they even
really
hate their own apples.
Nobody got offended. That was the most unique thing in that video that nobody got punched in the face after. Or
There's that word offended again. You know, when you get offended,
It costs
the
you
liberals try
nothing.
to convince you that, man, if you're offended,
your
you're gonna,
rights are being violated.
yeah, your skin crawls. You wake up with leprosy. You know, it's just offended.
If you're
Shut up.
offended, you've been violated.
Yeah.
No, you haven't. Folks, put it into perspective. So, no, that was awesome. That was just probably done on Veterans Day or something here last week or two.
Robber, Barber, you boys aren't right. I'm hoping that's in fun. You boys aren't right. Why the hell aren't we right?
What's going on, Robert?
I
What
don't
do
know.
you tell us one thing that we're not right about?
I hope that's just you guys aren't right. Ha ha. I better not be. You're not right.
Amen. He knows we're just joking. That we're a little.
It's the sad thing about texting. There's no emotion. Boy, how many
Yeah.
times have you
Right.
told
You get
your
lax
friend or girlfriend
context
or
of
wife,
emotion.
damn it, what I meant by that,
Yeah.
I was smiling when I text you. It wasn't A, F you. It was, oh, F.
That's the whole thing about it, folks. That is the whole thing about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this 2.5 hour live stream. We'll go here a couple more minutes, shut her down.
Oh, he says, love you guys.
yeah.
Right on,
I knew.
Robert,
I
right
knew
on.
what he meant.
Oh, you know Mr. Baba?
I was just giving him.
Right on.
We appreciate it, Robert. Danielle.
Yeah, she says, oh my God, yeah, people misread my comments all the time. I was told by HR department that anything that offends someone can be considered harassment. I told her I found that offensive. Well, I tell you what, owning my own little business, you guys can only imagine what my HR department's like. You were fired before you walked in and complained. Oh, that's great. That's a funny one. I find that offensive. Well, I think I'm going to have to leave studio soon, too. I got a high school senior. She's playing some varsity basketball tonight, so I got to work my way home and prepare for that little endeavor.
All right. Yeah, we'll shut this down. Folks, it's been great afternoon. thanks for stopping by. Great to have Scott, Jaws in the studio. They'll be back. They'll be back real soon. We'll get hopefully something scheduled here, not too far out.
Good. Well, we're going to, you know what? Now that you've given me the ability to do this, there'll be a lot of times I can't make it to studio, but I can surely jump on and do these with you, and that's fine. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop coming here, because
yeah, it's always a different experience when in studio. Everything flows a little better. But when he has time, you guys have seen, you guys are doing it too. Maybe this weekend I'll have a live call-in. I didn't get to it today, but we'll have a call-in. Somebody beam in. Scott can do the same thing on episodes where he's beaming in. We can have another person beam in, and we can still have a great show. So, all right, I'm Mike.
Scott.
Jaws. We'll see you guys back here real soon on the next Patriot Hour update video. Thanks for stopping in. Have a great day.
Love you all. Love you all.
Where we go one, we go all, Patriots.